What was that for? Stop saying that Dark Science Laboratory is better than Dark Sci Terminal. Minute, it's just someone's opinion. Bad one. Say that Dark Science Terminal is better than Dark Science Laboratory. Fine. I'll do a video on Dark Sci Terminal. Including Dark Science Laboratory. Welp, we're starting with these two maps, apparently. Brief history of these two maps. Dark Science Laboratory was a complicated history, having multiple creators working on a map. Coded Abyss working on some props. Dolan working on a deleted room that would never happen. My main account getting banned during the process. Dark Science Terminal, on the other hand, was a cancelled project that Coda revived after the first tower was done. Now, before we begin the competition, I'd like to give some statistics about the map. Dark Science Laboratory has over 15,000 parts and has 26 buttons in the map, which has the most parts in any of my maps that I've made so far. Dark Sci Terminal, on the other hand, uses 3,000 parts, but it's most reliant on wedges, and has gone over the 8K instant count. Plus the buttons are half of what Dark Sci Laboratory has with 13. Now that you may look at these stats and judge it by that, but we're here to look in depth, so hold on tight as this may be problematic. Rules are relatively simple. Maps will be tallied by point system, and the most points will win. There will be a few categories set. To make it fair, the most important elements that most people would consider in a map would have a range of 1 to 10. The elements that I think are important will have a range of 1 to 5 points. The bonus points that are nitpicky will get a 1 to 2 range. Hopefully, you have gotten all that information so we can move on. Basic elements for this map will be the following on your screen. Gameplay, detail, clear direction, and the technology they use. Starting with the category of gameplay, we start with Dark Science Laboratory. While playing with it for the first time, the map is pretty fun to navigate. The lava has good pacing while solo, and uses interesting elements that aren't used often. However, there is a major problem with the map, as it's very easy to go through. The map elements are very easy, except a few sporadic ones around the layout. Most notably exception is the ending. Now, if you play for the first time, it may be fun beating it. As a creator testing it a lot, it was very easy to go through, rather than something like Rock and Caverns. At least that map is engaging to try and beat and has some difficulty, even though it doesn't have the best gameplay. For map's gameplay score, it will be 7 out of 10. I would recommend playing solo for the best enjoyment. Gameplay for Dark Sci Terminal, on the other hand, is sporadic gameplay like Dark Science Laboratory, Instead of being very easy with some moderate jumps, Sci Terminal has a little more difficulty, with the lava speed being more threatening. The first half of Sci Terminal is quite enjoyable, with the pacing being good and the jumps being fun. But the second half kind of lost me. Now, it's not bad, it's just not interesting, as it becomes button reliant there. Feels like I'm not really going somewhere, as you have to climb any platforms. That's usually what people get bored, or more specifically I get bored of. Honestly, I would give Dark Science Laboratory the edge for having better gameplay, as both are at a similar level. 65% or 6.10 for the gameplay. For the detail, this one will be pretty controversial. For Dark Science Laboratory, it's probably its strongest strength. The map is very interesting with its detail for how much variety there is. Even though it's not the best executed, it's very interesting, no doubts. If I did give a complaint, I would nitpick if there was more plant work and rock work on the outside parts. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. 80% or 8 out of 10. Of Sci Terminal, I am sorry coded, but the detail's not that good overall. Whoa, hold on. Let me explain. Most of the time, it's very textured walls, some lighting to make it look good. There are a few exceptions like the beginning, the trees area, and the end of the map. However, the facility could have more wall details and be less reliant on textures, even in the hardware room. Try to make it a little more interesting than neon blocks with textures. However, it is a step up from the original Dark Sci facility, plus there is some effort with some of the detail. Still, I think it would be good if I gave 5 out of 10. Next is the clear direction of the layout, and this one is very easy, as Dark Sci Terminal finally gets more points than Dark Science Laboratory for this category. Dark Science Laboratory kind of has a clear direction, but it's hiding somewhere usually not many people would look. Most notably the end, where you need to go to a wall jump to survive the lava. For this category, it gets 40% or 4 out of 10. Dark Sci Terminal, on the other hand, mostly has a clear direction. I kind of got confused in the final room with the buttons and delays, so the map still gets 10 out of 10 for its clear pathway. Technology is one of my preferences, but still important so people can see how complex the scripting is. Dark Science Laboratory uses simple scripting with button functions, plus it does have some interesting elements that are used. However, the scripting is pretty serviceable, nothing outstanding, so it gets a 50% or 5 out of 10. Dark Sci Terminal, on the other hand, has some impressive scripting. With the local and tween scripting used in the map, this map does get an 80 out of 8.10. The only reason it's not that higher is that the most impressive things is a platform, a box, and a sign moving. And it could have used better tween scripting, with more impressive elements that could not be used with button functions. See, not that bad. They're kind of close in points. I bet he rigs the next categories. Shut up. Note, the next few categories are what is my opinion. So even if you don't agree with them, they are not rigged. What I think are important for these next few categories. Right. If you got that out of the way, the next categories I think are important are theme, personality, and layout structure. Let's start with the story of Dark Science Laboratory, or basically the theme. Dark Science Laboratory is based on the question of what is dark science. It uses that question by being powered by a dark energy and stars from the solar system. Honestly, it's an interesting story. Map elements do connect with this. It's a 4 out of 5 theme. For Dark Sci Terminal, I had to make up a theme because Coded couldn't make up one himself. So it's basically escaping the terminal area that's in Dark Sci's facility. climbing a tower to escape the lava to an island. Now the theme isn't bad, but the terminal aspect could have been used better than rather a setup for a redone version of Dark Sci Facility. The theme rating is a 1 out of 5. I am not a fan of the theme. The map personality of Dark Science Laboratory is a journey through the setting of the map, which has unique jumps and quirks about it. I like the map for this aspect because it gives the map variety of scenes and stuff. This category is getting a 5 out of 5. For Dark Sci Terminal, it's basically Coded's take on Dark Science Facility, and a decently executed version. Even though I want to hate this map's personality, it does get a decent 3 out of 5, because at least it's more original than most Dark Sci maps. Dark Science Laboratory has an unorthodox room structure. It has mostly turns and vertical movement till going outside. It has horizontal movement till the final wall jumps. The quantity of the 5 rooms give variety and make the map more interesting by how much you're moving around. For this map, I'll be giving 4 out of 5. Dark Sci Terminal, on the other hand, has 4 rooms and has vertical movement in the first half and the horizontal movement in the second half. Action of the map mostly comes in vertical movement rather than some long and stick jumps in horizontal portions. I'll be giving this map a 3 out of 5. While it's not bad, it does have some flaws with their layout structure. Well, we still have bonus points. Yeah, I guess you're gonna it up. Stop it. Bonus points. The categories here will be time length, map improvement, difficulty, and map title. First is the time length. For this one, I'll be basing it off the video when I finished it. For Dark Science Laboratory, we have 202 solo according to the video. For maps 2 to 3 minutes, map will get 2 out of 2 points. For Dark Science Terminal is 134 solo. Maps that are between 1 to 2 minutes will get 1 out of 2 points. Map improvement is a strange category, but one of our maps, I say, will go hit both 2 out of 2 points as our best maps with one exception from each creator. I'll save for the maps that are better for a different video. The usage of the difficulty is kind of important for these maps. So for Dark Sci Terminal, it does well with its lava speed and jumps, so it gets 2 out of 2. For Dark Science Laboratory, the map has sporadic difficulty, so it gets 1 out of 2 because it still uses some. And finally, the map title. For Dark Science Laboratory, the title's pretty good. It's not as good as Rocky Caverns, but it's still good as it's applying with Dark Science, so it gets 1 out of 2 points. Dark Sci Terminal only applies to is the beginning and end as of the terminal. It could have been called Dark Sci Facility and wouldn't have changed anything. 0 out of 2. In conclusion, while my opinion for Dark Science Laboratory does get a higher score than my preferences, the map's overall quality is the same as are both the same as they're good maps, and while they have flaws. Dark Sci Terminal doesn't really have too many interesting moments. It still challenges you in the first room, and that's pretty enjoyable. While I can tolerate Dark Science Laboratory, others may hate it for the confusing pathways, and even sometimes I consider it too easy. But for me, I would at most distance these maps at 30 spots if I had an overall ranking for my favorite maps. But you'll have to wait for a milestone like 100 subscribers for a list of the top 10 best maps. Anyway, time to tell you a pun before I leave. What Mars took down the video for copyright? Oh no, of course we're in trouble. Thank you for viewing this video. A few things I'd like to tell you is that I have a Discord server and the entire link is above the screen. And if you have some app suggestions or you want to give feedback in general, please leave a comment. For a special video or milestone that I want to make very badly, you can do so by clicking the like and subscribe button. Anyways, I have 6 maps to make and more videos to do. So, see you soon.